There are many places where you can set up your liability accounts for managing different types and categories of payables. When you first begin, of course, the starting point will be to define your chart of accounts. And if we go here, I've got a 4-digit standard nonprofit chart of accounts here. This number can be 20 characters alphanumeric, but typically we recommend a 4, 5, or 6-digit numeric for your chart of accounts, starting in assets, going through expenses. If I go and search here for, let's search for 2000, we like to recommend numbering things where you have this kind of structure where you can have totaling accounts and subtotaling accounts. So we like to reserve zeros for summaries and in totals and captions, etc. And here you notice I have multiple uh, liability accounts under payables for accounts payable, expense payable, credit cards, all my normal and sundry payroll and tax accounts, etc. And the other thing we'll have in the system is my intercompany accounts, which would be set up to manage your intercompany receivables and payables. So once you have a chart of accounts defined, obviously there's no limit to how many accounts you can have in here. Then there's many places where you connect your chart of accounts to activities within the system. Let's start with vendors being a classic example. If I look at my Office Depot vendor, when I set up my vendor record, we have a vendor posting group that connects into my chart of accounts. And we normally set up, this could be trades or vendors and your employee. But if I look at the list, you'll notice we can set up as many posting groups as we want, with each posting group targeting a different account in my chart of accounts. So if I drill down here, you'll notice I'm sitting in my liability section where I can pick and choose accounts to pull back in here. In addition to setting the GL account retargeting, you can also set up defaults for your dimensions if you want your control account transactions to be posted differently than the way you posted your revenues and expenses. Similar to vendor posting group, you'll have inventory posting groups, customer posting groups, and bank account posting groups. So you can connect your GL chart of accounts into your business entities in the system. But this is obviously where payables accounts would exist primarily. The other place we're likely to set up payables accounts is for taxes. So in the tax jurisdictions, I think I only have Colorado set up. Again, my sales tax or use taxes payable accounts are connected through definition of tax jurisdictions. And here again are the corresponding GL accounts that I might be targeting. And then, of course, if you remember the first couple of videos went through within a company processing, the other place you're going to at BAPS be setting up intercompany payables accounts will be in the definition of your intercompany partners. So here's the definition of intercompany partner. Notice it connects to one of my other physical companies set up in the system. And in the intercompany partner record, we set up receivable and payables accounts. The last place we're going to have liability accounts set up in the system. Sorry, I shouldn't say last place. There's probably many other examples, but in a fund accounting scenario, there's also the fund accounting setup. And in fund accounting setup is where we're going to set up our due to and due from GL accounts. And again, of course, this is a liability account in the system to automatically manage the balancing of inter-fund transactions in the system. Okay, so hope you get a good idea of the many ways you can set off liability accounts in terms of tracking different kinds of transactions in the system. Just to touch on an employee record, here's an example where when my vendor is an employee, I'm actually tagging the employee vendor posting group so that liabilities will post through to a different GL account. in my asset and liability section of my statement of financial position.